Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
You know, when it comes to religious ideologies, the interpretation of the person who's living it means so much more than anything else. And you know what? If you're within the sound of my voice, that must mean you are in the seats with once more. As always, my name is Dave Voigt, and I'm the host of this podcast, where we sit down with a wide-ranging variety of entertainment industry professionals and we pick their brain about current projects, state of the industry, how they got started, and so very much more in a light and in a conversational fashion. And you know, if you like how we do things around here, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you do, because let's face it, you're listening right now. If you are, subscribe to the podcast, please. Hit that 5-star rating, hit the like, and find us on your podcast provider of choice. We're available pretty much everywhere. Places like Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google, and plus we archive every single one of our episodes over at our In the Seats YouTube channel. So if you want to give us a like and subscribe there as well, you know, we would absolutely appreciate it. Also, don't hesitate to check us out on social media. We're on the Facebook, we're on the Twitter, we're on the Instagram, we're on the Letterboxd, and we're on the TikTok for all sorts of fun updates. And finally, and I do dare say most importantly, please pay us a visit over at In the Seats, intheseats.ca, for all the latest and greatest from the world of film, television, basically the moving image at large. Because, you know, if we love to watch it and write about it and talk about it, we love it even more when you come by and read about it and listen about it. So please, pay us a visit. On this episode, we've got a really, really interesting one. It is hitting theaters tomorrow. It is what played Sundance, and it's the Starling Girl. And what it is, it's the story of 17-year-old Jem Starling, played immaculately by Eliza Scanlen, who struggles with her place within her Christian fundamentalist community, but finds that things starts to change when a magnetic young youth pastor, Owen, returns to their church, and everything changes. This is a fantastic film from writer-director Laurel Parmet, and it's one of those things where it's not being dismissive of faith, but it's really questioning the rigidity of the structure of faith that faith can have, I should say, sometimes. And it's really allowing us to get a sense of the individual who wants to be faithful and wants to sort of acknowledge the tenets of their religion, but also knows that there are other poles in the world that they need to go explore, especially, and that's so especially true for 16 and 17-year-olds of any age. But if you have a chance, go check this out. I know it's in select theaters now. It's playing at the Varsity here in Toronto. But it is really a special little film that I enjoyed quite a bit. But before you do that, though, before you go check out that film, which, like I said, is in theaters tomorrow, please enjoy our talk with Eliza Scanlen, because between you and me, it's a darn good one.
Well, obviously, Eliza, first off, just thank you so much for the time today. And I mean, congratulations on the film. I absolutely loved it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No, I mean, I guess walk me through the initial reaction to seeing the script, because I mean, your character, like we've seen sort of the young woman coming of age story before, but I mean, your character has such empathy and it's really so unique given the circumstances that she's in. Like, walk me through, I guess, sort of the initial stages of you being involved in this project.
Yeah, I mean, I was working with the producer of The Starling Girl at the time, who gave the script to me, and it was such a tight, incisive, well-written script, just technically, and that's always such a joy to read. But then also Jem. I mean, Jem is such a dream character for an actor to play, because she's not navigating one thing in her life. She's navigating, this relationship. She's navigating church abuse, family dynamics, and there's a myriad of things that Laurel is exploring through Jem. And I just found that very exciting. I also think too that Jem is unique in that she's on a journey of self-discovery, yet it's set in front of a backdrop of extreme Christian fundamentalism, and it just sort of it heightens everything that she experiences, and it was a real challenge, and I was up for that challenge, I guess.
Well, I mean, your character is existing in this universe where, I mean, she's trying to be honest with herself and discover herself, but she's existing in this universe where everyone around her isn't honest with themselves. I mean, I've got to imagine that's kind of an interesting dynamic for you to sort of go from being accepting to sort of understanding that this world is very clearly not for you.
Yeah, and I think she, at the beginning of the film, she feels very, very alone in her struggles, and it's common in these communities to doubt your faith at times, and it's a very normal part of being in one of these communities. But I think that Jem feels so deeply, and she's a sensitive person, and I think she gets the sense that she experiences these sexual desires or more frequently than the young girls her age, and her internal struggle is so tumultuous. She's not as easily satisfied, I think, as the other girls her age, and naturally is a bit of a contrarian, as much as she doesn't want to be, and that does get her into trouble even before she begins to act on her sexual desires. And I think she does ultimately act on those desires, and she goes down a very destructive path, but at the end of the day, it does set her free.
I also genuinely appreciated how this film wasn't necessarily being dismissive of faith, but it was being dismissive of sort of the community and the structures therein. I mean, was that a hard line to walk as you were making the film?
I think it is a very hard line to walk, and it was important for Laurel to focus more on church abuse rather than the concept of religion or faith itself. I think she wanted the film to not mock religion. The film was meant to be complex and explore different ways people can connect with God. And I think we see that in the film, because Jem never loses her faith. Her conception of God just simply changes throughout the film, and she develops her own individual relationship with God that's perhaps a little less restrictive. And I found that really refreshing. I think it's such a politically heated topic, religion, and that's exacerbated by the media. And I don't know, I actually found some of those moments in the film where Jem feels connected to God quite beautiful, touching, and more of a realistic portrayal of religion, I think.
For sure. No, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, just to start putting a bow on this, I can imagine it's every actor's dream to be sort of top of the call sheet and be first on the run list. But I mean, you're practically in every scene in this film. Like, how much are you kind of conscious of that weight when you're in the moment, or do you have to block it out?
Oh my gosh, I think I was frightened, very frightened before the shoot, and then it gets to a certain point where, well, you just have to dive in and not think about the fact that you're in every scene for the next 5 days until the weekend. It's quite, it's a real challenge, but more opportunity for you to explore different situations that your character's thrown into, more opportunities to paint the picture of your character. But yes, I had to block it out. It was very scary.
Well, I mean, I'm happy you managed to do that, because I mean, you did such a fantastic job in this film, and I can't wait for people to see it. It really is such a beautiful piece of work. But honestly, again, congrats on the work, and thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time as well.
And don't forget to visit our friends over at Bay Street Video for all your DVD, Blu-ray rental, or purchasing needs this summer, as they are still open for curbside and some mailing delivery as well. Over at 1172 Bay Street, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you can give them a call at 416-964-9088. That's 416-964-9088. Or send them an email at baystreetvideoto@gmail.com for any of your DVD and Blu-ray needs.